Welcome all of you. This presentation is on Buddhist education system in ancient India. Buddhist education system was based on the teachings of Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha was born in 563 BC. Lord Buddha was the son of King Suddhodhan. Once, when he went out of his luxurious palace, along with his charioteer Channa, he saw three sights, one of an old man, other of a sick man, and yet another of a dead man. Moved by such evidences, such human sufferings, he decided to renounce his luxurious life and went out in search of truth. His meditation and reflection. Through his meditation and reflection, he discovered four noble truths of the world: that life is full of sufferings, all existence is suffering, the cause of suffering is craving or desires, cessation of sufferings comes from cessations of cravings and desires, and there is a way to cessation of sufferings. Lord Buddha delivered his first sermon at Sarnath, which is called Dharma Chakra Parivartan. Buddha continued to teach and preach his ideals and philosophy, and on those lines Buddhist education system developed. Here are the main features of Buddhist education system. It was supported by the state, the kings, the monarchs. Unlike Vedic education system, it was highly supported by the state. Huge donations in the form of money, land for the construction and maintenance of vihars were provided by the state. Buddhist education system was under the control of the Buddhist Sanghs and not under any individual. It was free of cost. Primary education was absolutely free of cost, while higher education was chargeable. Mats and vihars were the educational institutions. Initially, these vihars developed as centers of Buddha's teaching, but later on they started organizing education. Structure of education. Education system was organized at different levels. Primary education, which continued for 6 years. Higher education, which was for 12 years. Many students settled with the family life after higher education, but there were few who continued with education to become a Buddhist monk, a bhikshu. For them, there was bhikshu education, which continued for 8 years. Primary education in Buddhist times. Eligibility. All children were eligible for education. Children of any caste, provided they were not sick, handicapped, important, thief or convict or belonging to Chandal caste, were eligible for education. The first initiation ceremony, Prabhaja, was organized at the time of entry into the education, which means Prabhaja means going out. The child had to leave his home to enter Math to begin his formal education. So this initiation ceremony was held at the time of admission. It was at 8 years of age. The child was made to wear yellow and staff was placed in his hand. Thereafter he appeared before the bhikshu, touched his feet and sat down in front of him for admission. He was made to recite, I take refuge in Buddha, Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. I take refuge with religion, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, and I take refuge with order, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. After his admission, the child was called a Shraman or Samner. Here are certain commands which were mandatory for a Shraman to follow, which we call Das Siksha Padani. These are: shun violence and practice non-violence, speak the truth, do not steal, do not collect, observe celibacy, give up luxury, renounce wealth, do not use fragrant things, do not eat anything untimely, and do not use soft and very comfortable bed. Here is a glimpse of daily routine of a Shraman. To make you all understand to develop an understanding of what kind of life these students used to live. The student will arrange everything for the daily routine of the teacher, cook his food, clean his clothes and utensils. Whatever he earned in begging alms, he would place before the teacher. He would keep the monastery and the surrounding clean. He would prepare himself to receive education at any time. Higher education continued for 12 years, and at the age of 20, not before the age of 20, Sampada or final ordination ceremony was held. It was a convocational or a closing ceremony which occurred after 20 years of education at Vihars. After this ceremony, the child would become a perfect monk, a bhikshu, and would join the Sangha. In the final ordination or Upsampada, the Shraman had to present himself before all other bhikshus of the monastery. The prospective candidate, the Shraman, wore bhikshu robe holding a metal pot, kamandal, and Shiva on his shoulder, and appeared before the panel of bhikshus. Questions were asked to examine the Shraman. If voted in favor, the Shraman would then be admitted. After this, the Shraman was regarded as a full-fledged member of the monastery. The student or the Shraman never came back to his parents' place for leading the life of a householder. After all, after this, his worldly pleasures and family relationship ended. With their final ordination or after the Upsampada Sanskar, apart from the Siksha Padani, they had to take oath of 8 more pledges. These are popularly known as eightfold paths. These are right view, right resolve, right effort, right occupation, right speech, right behavior, right contemplation, and right meditation. Aims of Buddhist education. During Buddhist era, study of all contemporary religion and philosophies were made, but special emphasis was laid on Buddhist religion and it was compulsory part of the curriculum. Since the chief ideal or aim of Buddhist education was attainment of nirvana or salvation, education was thoroughly saturated with religion and it was spiritual in a sense. Another important aim of education was physical development. Buddha supported the need of good health as the philosophy of Buddhism is emphasizes on karma. Only a healthy person can perform his duties well. So physical development was emphasized. Another important aim was development of knowledge, development of true knowledge. Here knowledge, the practical knowledge of the material world and the Four Noble Truths was regarded as true knowledge, unlike the Vedic period during which the knowledge of four Vedas was considered the true knowledge. Another important aim of education was character formation. Buddhist education emphasized on character formation with emphasis on self-control, compassion and kindness. Whosoever practices these ideals possessed good character. Students were made to adhere to 10 rules for character formation. Preservation and advancement of culture was another important aim of education. Emphasis on preservation of human culture as a whole. Hundreds of scholars were engaged for preservation of ancient literature and in the creation of new ones. They prepared manuscripts of ancient scriptures and also translated them in different languages. Libraries were built to preserve this literature of Buddhist era. Libraries were great achievement of this era. Curriculum of Buddhist education at primary level. Here, the medium of instruction was Pali, which was the common language of the people, and Balpothi of Pali language, which consisted of 49 letters, was taught. Reading and writing of the Pali language was emphasized. Apart from this, five different sciences: morphology, masonry, medicine, logic, and spirituality were taught. Curriculum at higher level. Though the study of religion predominated the entire society, yet one should not infer the conclusion that there was no provision for practical and technical education. General knowledge of grammar, religion, astrology, Ayurveda, and philosophy was given, and thereafter specialization started in specific fields. The main subjects of Buddhist education were spinning, weaving, printing of the cloth, tailoring, accountancy, painting, Ayurveda, surgery, etc. At higher level, Buddhist religion and philosophy was also taught, and three holy books, three Pitaks, Vinay Pitak, Sutta Pitak, and Abhidham Pitak were also taught to the Buddhist monk. Buddhist education system was a multi-teacher and multi-student system. At Vihars, thousands of students were taught by hundreds of teachers. It was said to be the first institutionalized residential educational system in India. There were different methods which were followed by the teachers to teach them. Imitation method was followed at primary level, especially language teaching was done through imitation. Pronunciation of word writing was done. Lecture, question answer method, debate and logic to discuss controversial topics. Lectures, great scholars were invited to clarify the complex subjects. Demonstration was done for various subjects depending upon the type of nature of subject, and likewise in Vedic system, monitorial system was also followed, which in which the bright students were permitted to uh, teach the class in the absence of the teacher. Examination and evaluation system was not much organized. There were no examinations at each grade like a contemporary system. If teachers were satisfied by examining students, they were declared successful. No certificates were awarded. Rather, at higher level, panel of teachers did examine the students orally, and successful candidates were awarded degrees. These are few main education centers developed during Buddhist education period: Taxila University, Nalanda University, Vallabhi University, and Vikramshila University. These were centers of educational excellence, world famous centers. Students from all over the world used to come and study here. They were great achievement. In fact, they are great achievement of Buddhist education period. Thus, we see that unlike Vedic education system, Buddhist education system emphasized on education of all castes. Emphasis was more on karma and duties in this world, and liberating oneself and attaining nirvana. To quote F.E.K.E. in this respect, he says that for over 1500 years, Buddhist education was in vogue and developed a system of education which was a rival of Brahmanic system, though in many ways similar to it. Thank you.